Hey guys, welcome to the next game, the next two-player game of the World Championship. Um, yeah, my last weeks have been kind of busy, so it's already been a while that this game has played, and my memories might be even worse than usual, which is kind of hard, I know. It's impressive that they can even be worse. So let's just rediscover this game together, I guess. I do remember that I wasn't happy with the start. Um, yeah, of the available options, I thought Sun Tzu is still the best option. There is Swiss Candle in the deck, so that's one upside. But I don't know. I think even then, Sun Tzu doesn't offer that much. If we look at it, for example, Sun Tzu into Christopher Columbus, sounds good on paper a bit, but then you played two leaders to get one colony. And I think that's not so good if you compare it, I don't know, to a Confucius who gives you 6 signs or something. And that's an HA leader then only. So yeah, some deck control, some options to draw colonies. There is a Colossus that I might get, so maybe I'm complaining a bit too much about the start, but I'm really not that happy. Yeah, I think Ashoka is not a good option in a two-player game in the first position here. And Caesar, I think, is worse than Sun Tzu. And yeah, I will get one of these wonders now, and I'm more happy with them against Hangars. And I think Vavcinic will always just take Aristotle, or is this even at least? If he takes Aristotle now, he might end up without a wonder. Yeah, that might be the case, yeah. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm complaining too much, but I remember not being too happy with this. Let's see. I think he has to take him a wonder now, right? Now what does he do? Yeah, takes Caesar Richland. Then he will still end up without it. He wasn't willing to play Aristotle. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I was also a bit surprised about the start. Okay, he gets the Richland on top. I'm also not the biggest fan of Aristotle, but I think Caesar versus Sun Tzu is a bit. Yeah, I think just Sun Tzu has more control over the event deck. And then seeding twice with Caesar is maybe even more of a gamble than it usually is. So yeah, I don't know. But maybe he didn't want to miss out on yeah, participating in this colony game. And maybe he kind of wanted to now force me into this Colossus. But I think I would have taken it anyway. So that he doesn't get the wonder. Not the very best H1 wonders. So not the very best HA wonder skip. Yeah. So at least I would be surprised if I don't take this Colossus now. I think I did that. Okay. Elect Sun Tzu, build the mine, standard stuff. And maybe we try to track it a bit. Wealthy territorial knowledge of the ancients already. 2 aggressions. Vavcinic elects Caesar, builds a mine, takes an urban growth. I've kind of skipped the introduction a bit. If you remember, I won my first two-player game, and this is the second one. And yeah, I don't really remember how the standings were back then. It's still the same premise that I have to win all of my games, basically. So that's just still true. It doesn't really matter too much how they play versus each other. And I don't know what the results were in this specific moment. Okay, I did seed Knowledge of the Ancients, which is a bit nice since he doesn't have a wonder. Reveal Development of Warfare, and here I think I decide to not take it. So at least back from my Pulse days, I remember, and I think I still am quite convinced of this, that this warrior is most of the time a trap, because it then, depending on the other developments, can take quite a time until you get your second lap out. And going to 2 science income is just important. And this warrior just doesn't do anything for a very long time. So, I mean, here maybe it's a bit closer, since it might be a colony game, so the warrior has more value, and the deck might flip sooner because he might be able to seed twice, and I might want to seed yeah, every time. But I also have the Colossus, so I don't need to be too afraid from strength events, maybe. And yeah, there's also Nostradamus, possibly, Barbarossa, Genghis Khan. Yeah, so I decide to not take the warrior and go to the +2 science. I think this is the correct choice most of the time in such a scenario, when the warriors yeah, revealed so early, and you don't have a happy face wonder which you can already build more or less. Yeah, like if you had a Stonehenge, you could take the warrior, I guess. The hanging guns maybe a bit less. The Stonehenge makes up for the science a bit. Yeah, okay, but I take this philosophy most of the time. Can still take an EG. It's, yeah, not the best row maybe. No really good cards here on 3. And then I end up taking EG, and Masonry populating would only be good for the religion, and I'm willing to yeah, stay out of consumption here rather. And taking Masonry, it's not the most important card maybe, but it's always very nice to have. And this is nice. I draw 2 colonization cards, so I well prepared to see the wealthy territory, I guess. Wawr seeds, reveals development of agriculture, and seeds again, and reveals development of settlement. And I wasn't too happy about it, because that means he can just take this warrior without a problem and still build this philosophy. So yeah, that's quite good for him. He also has the fighting band. Yeah, not the most happy start here for me. Then he still takes a frugality and urban growth. There's a code of law on 3. I think he didn't yeah, have the best turn available to take it for 3. I think he then would have had to, yeah, not take the warrior or skip the philosophy. Then he takes the 6 science cards without building the second philosophy. So like this, yeah, he gives it to me on 2, which I'm kind of happy about, because it is a high impact card. And maybe he might have considered to I don't know now whether it was the frugality or the urban growth here, but just not taking this card, taking one of those. I know they are worse. Yeah, and then the Code of Law state of 3 would stay on 3. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Always very close to these things. I mean, if it was the urban growth here, it obviously is 2 rocks. Is impactful. The frugality one is also a lot better than the frugality A. Okay, I did seed the wealthy territory here. Not really too keen on the foray, and yeah, I do have these colonization cards. Draw even another one, which is nice to see. The development of politics. Now, if there was an Eleanor in deck, that's by the way something I didn't mention, but just because she isn't here, then I value him a lot higher, because yeah, just of these, it is not only this possible turn where I get 2, 4, 6, 8, 6 culture now by electing Eleanor and discarding 6 cards, which is, yeah, relevant. It's relevant. But it's also the extra synergy with just the information. You, yeah, cycle through this entire deck, and that is why the H1 deck is the least impactful, maybe? Or actually, I don't even know. Some of the cards are not that impactful. but yeah, some events, strength events especially, are extremely impactful. So yeah, that's a nice synergy. And then I'm actually kind of happy to play Sun Tzu. But yeah, with these, the problem with something like Barbarossa is it's a gamble if you get him. Of course, there's the synergies, Sun Tzu into Barbarossa, but the opponent can just take Barbarossa. And likewise with something like Shishka, who isn't here. Genghis Khan is maybe also a bit of an option if you draw a horse tactic, and here's a medieval army already. Yeah. So enough of Sun Tzu. I still wasn't too happy with him. I take this Code of Law for 2. I decide to play the medieval army. With these questions, I'm often not that certain. Here I thought, okay, I want to hold these 2 cards. It is a bit asymmetric in the value that, yeah, he has to pay 2 military actions to get this, and he can only get this after the fact, after he's gone. And until then, I might even switch to another tactic. So I can. That is actually kind of a nice aspect because I can show, okay, knights are important. How much are you willing to spend for them? Are you willing to spend 2 civil actions for them, for example? Because if you don't, I might just have a strength push available. But if you do, I might just switch the tactic. That's actually a nice design here with the holding back the tactic by Sun Tzu. So I do think it's recommendable to reveal these tactics, even if it can backfire. Yeah, if the opponent then gets Barbarossa, or in this case maybe a bit also Genghis Khan. Okay, the rest is, I guess, standard turn. I do build the warrior here. Maybe I had to get out of corruption. Probably. Now develop territory here and the pestilence. Continued seeds and reveals immigration. We have both 0 happy faces. And then there's uncertain borders, which I lose. Yeah, that's a bit sad. That's the early fighting band, the free warrior. I wasn't ready to build the Colossus yet. It wouldn't have been enough anyway without this warrior, so yeah. He did win a high impact strength event here, and he takes Genghis Khan for 3. So maybe he has a tactic himself for Genghis Khan. Maybe he also already respects this, because I actually was looking definitely for just going for Genghis Khan. It's actually a kind of nice synergy with a colony game, because 2 warriors are then 2 plus 3, a bit of 5 for a colony, and 2 warriors are worth for quite some colonies actually. The vast territory is always worth more or less 2 warriors, and then inhabited also more or less, and then a developed territory often, even a wealthy territory sometimes. Yeah, so that's a nice synergy with colonies, and also being able to fulfill this without having to develop knights is also kind of nice. So he respected that. He paid 3 civil actions for that. And I'm also not unhappy with this. So, okay, I'm kind of finding a lot of reasons why that I maybe wasn't even aware of. A lot of small things that make Sun Tzu in this position is somehow annoying for him. Yeah. So I would have been happy to play Genghis Khan, and I'm also happy when he pays 3 civil actions for him, because now I can just maybe take Da Vinci Alchemy, or Da Vinci for printing press. It's a Shakespeare game. This is a Shakespeare Bach game here. Into Dietrich. No Hollywood, no big wonder payoff, but I think still these leaders might be important. There's also Gandhi to back it up later. So yeah, maybe next turn I just get printing press Da Vinci. There might also be other options available. Take Swordsman, doesn't reveal another tactic yet. I seed, and the knowledge of the ancients gives 2 rocks and nothing to my opponent. It's also maybe a rare side. I would have preferred the science, of course, but I was still willing to seed the... My memory is so bad. It's the not territory, the other thing that I had. When it's revealed, I maybe remember. Yeah, build the Colossus and take Machu Picchu, actually. Yeah, maybe... I don't know. I already have the Code of Law. I always say this wonder is actually it's pretty decent, but it's bad if you don't have extra civil actions because you always just run into corruption issues. And now I still have this EG. I could build the Colossus without the EG. I still have it. I have a Masonry, which cuts 1 civil action of the construction cost. And yeah, I have this extra civil action. So I think it's actually decent in the long run for the game. If I manage to stay out of corruption, then I think it's good. What was the territory again that I seeded, which is still in there? Wealthy territory also, right? So that is also still disputed. And then if I win it, I actually just have the rocks to build it, which is super nice. I sadly had to let go of the developed territory. I can't really discard the colonization cards here. I think I've seen at least 3, maybe even 4 by now. There's only 6 in total or 7. It's always 7 in this game, right? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Wawr is stronger seeds, but there is this wealthy territory, and I am happy that I get it for 4 here. That's the warrior and 2 cards. Maybe I would have even bid 5. Maybe I would have even been willing to bid both warriors. Not entirely certain. Wawr gets the Basilica, yeah, which always has this risk of being destroyed if it's your first wonder, but I would probably do the same. I mean, maybe you could wait for the castle, take EG and go for the castle. The castle is also pretty good. I think the Basilica is actually a bit better than the castle, but it's also super good. It's actually close. And then this castle just doesn't hurt as much if you lose it. Presumably. Maybe. Possibly. To a Ravages of Time. So, yeah, Wawr upgrades 3 swordsmen. Elects here, it's written here, Wawr, right? Yeah, Genghis Khan. And takes EG, of course. Still doesn't show heavy cavalry, for example. I think if he had it, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if he would have preferred it. Would have been a bit of a pressure on me, actually. So probably I would have preferred it to an upgrade. Still waiting for this medieval army, and I'm like waiting for an infantry tactic in order to be able to dodge that, to swap it out. It's actually super likely, I think, to draw one at some point, but yeah, so far I haven't. So there's the mentioned Machu Picchu finishing the wonder, building a warrior, taking swordsman, not taking alchemy, Da Vinci, but yeah, swordsman irrigation. I wouldn't have had the science even for the alchemy next turn. It would definitely be an option, but maybe I was a bit afraid here. If I don't draw yeah, or maybe still hoping for an infantry tactic. Oh, I mean, I think the swordsman is a bit of a collateral. Irrigation was always going to be taken here with this Machu Picchu, and then yeah, maybe I should take the alchemy instead of swordsman. I don't know. Still hoping for this printing press, rather, I think, and setting up for Shakespeare. Gaudi. It's also somewhat late alchemy. Yeah, since I cannot develop it next turn. I think if I had 4 signs, maybe I would take it. But that would require not getting this masonry out, and everything gets a little more awkward. Okay, Wawr takes a drama here. Builds a stage, yeah, finishes the wonder, yeah, and drama. This is actually very recommendable here. He does skip the irrigation. I think it's, yeah, not that unimportant in 2-player, but there's a Suez Canal and an Ocean Liner. It's maybe somewhat unlikely that the opponent gets both. And then there's also then the Celebrate in H2, and yeah, I think sometimes you skip it, even on 1. But more often than not, I think you are happy to take it. But the drama is also very understandable. He doesn't have access to iron yet. And drama is just a super cost-efficient culture producer, and especially in this deck. Yes, there's Bach, Dietrich, also Shakespeare. So drama is a high-value card, especially with low echo. I'm not certain. I think both iron are still in the deck, so yeah, maybe again, just a small thing. If I play a lot of friendly games with a friend of mine who is right now also rising the ranks in the Royal League. He will be an Emperor soon. 2 or 3 seasons he's there. Against him, I can guarantee you this iron will be here. He values it very highly to make these picks always more costly. Extra civil action for me. And he takes the irrigation instead of this drama. Yes, there are a lot of good reasons for this drama, but maybe they don't outweigh the fact that then I have to pay an extra civil action for this iron. And I do, because I do have to do it, because I might otherwise just miss out on the iron. Yeah. It's just the second instance where I get something for cheaper, this Code of Law and now this iron. And yeah, just had this thought against this friend that I play against, who actually maybe wins more games than me. Well, actually, yeah, so roughly 50-50, but some edge for him. And yeah, I know for a fact that this wouldn't happen. I would always have to pay the extra civil action. Yeah. This is maybe, Wawr is not a 2-player specialist, because this mindset is just more or less irrelevant in 3-player, 4-player. But in 2-player, it's quite relevant. Yeah, civil actions are just valuable, and making someone pay an extra civil action repeatedly during a game adds up significantly. All that said, I don't know if it outweighs the benefits of this drama. It might still be the best turn. So, yeah, if I didn't decide to take this iron for 2, which I would have taken it for 2, but then if I didn't, now he would have taken to spend 3 civil actions on iron. Possible. But yeah, maybe I then also have compensation. I mean, Machu Picchu with this is also +4, and masonry. I can build buildings with that. Okay, just some thoughts I have to these small instances here, making it more inconvenient for your opponent. Pestilence revealed. Did I have a guy? Lose an idle worker, yeah. Okay. Then I do take iron. Nostradamus is here, which is kind of nice. I didn't find the tactic, by the way, so he is then able to copy it if he wants to. And with my turn, I'm even missing out on knights, but I think, yeah, I don't want to go out of the way for these knights. And also, this turn, does the thing. It puts the iron here. And that is also something I do look out for a lot. Controlling this card and what card is here is actually, yeah, it just adds up if you do it repeatedly. So my good Vorsätze, whatever that is in English. Resolutions. I don't know. It's a New Year's resolution is, yeah, I guess it's the right word. My good resolutions? No, it's not the right word. Whatever. Plans to pay more attention to these events didn't work really well, but I think we have to live with it. Nothing I could change about it. Inherited territory revealed. Wawr is able to bid, or willing to bid 5, which is costly. So I did draw even more of those colonization cards. That is the power of Sun Tzu and the colonization setup. And then the Colossus also synergizes well with it. Maybe in hindsight, I was wrong to be unhappy about Sun Tzu. But also, he took Caesar. I think I would be more unhappy with Sun Tzu if he took Aristotle, because he would have had an economical leader, and I think they are just more important. Okay, he's willing to bid 2 swordsmen, which is kinda okay, maybe, but also kinda costly. Earlier I said 2 warriors are always worth for that. 2 swordsmen, it's more expensive, especially since he doesn't have, yeah, neither civil actions nor iron going. So again, I think I'm actually fine with this deal. He gets this inherited. It's probably correct to bid those 2 swordsmen, but I'm kind of fine with this deal. He goes for alchemy here and not for iron, which is understandable. If he would stay on +2 science and spend science on iron now, then he will have a very hard time to go for a government. And he doesn't have a code of laws yet. So he needs a government. So his only option would be a revolution, then preferably for the Republic. If he gets that, then maybe the iron is better, but I think this is more a more balanced approach to increase science income now here. Border conflict is revealed. Wawr is strongest and weakest. Yeah, I think it's kind of nice for him. Then you can just build this alchemy. Doesn't lose anything from that. It's net 0, I guess. If he destroys philosophy, he can also destroy something else. Okay. I go for the iron here. Upgrade it. And yeah, science is important also for me. It was also my last science here, so the cultural heritage, even for 2 civil actions. And the breakthrough. This ocean liner is here. I don't think it's a turn to take it here for all the 5 civil actions. And yeah, I did deem this cultural heritage breakthrough so important that I also didn't want to leave it here. Yeah, this Machu Picchu is deceptively good. Even without irrigation, I have a lot of people here. Yeah, even here, it's not that clear maybe, even if he takes it. Probably he will, but he does have a hard time building it even. Yeah. Maybe a close call, but I think this side's just so important. So, yeah. Wawr builds a warrior first of all. Upgrades the lab. He did destroy a farm, so that indicates Okay, now I understand the warrior. He does have the Saving Have. And he also takes the Ocean Liner. So, yeah. With 1+3 is 4, 7, 10. In some turns, he can build it. Yeah, but no extra civil actions and no extra rock income is a heavy burden for a two-player game going to H2. It's again a difference to 3-player, 4-player, where it's more fine. Mainly because yeah, there's 2 copies of the coal and they drop way earlier on average. And then, I don't know, maybe even there are more yellow cards available. Yeah, in 3-player, 4-player, it's just way more common and also way more fine to stay on bronze. And in 2-player, it is possible, but it's very undesirable. Still, I think his alchemy was correct. But yeah. That all being said, I mean, he does have one thing going for him. He produces 5 signs per turn. I'm not realistically getting stronger than him to deny him this 3 signs income and 5 signs per culture per turn and 4 signs per turn. Yeah, so his position is playable. It's just this one downside here with the rock income. He does need a government and then access to yellows, and then he can play the game. He is now at 24 culture. I'm at 13. I mean, yeah, Nostradamus also gives some, but I'm even just the weakest. Losing the Crusades to Wawr. And I haven't drawn a colony. I'm not willing to play that gamble. And I think also this railroad is just a super good wonder, especially with the masonry. So I take that one, populate, and build 2 stages. Now it would be interesting to know if I saw the rebellion. Maybe I did. Otherwise, I do tend to play this gamble from time to time. It's sometimes, or actually most of the time, sometimes you just lose the turn. But if you cater to the rebellion, the possible rebellion every time, every game, I think, yeah, that scale is worse than ignoring that. Losing a turn, yeah, is bad, but it isn't even game over sometimes. So, yeah. But it's better if you have that information. And I also do try to maybe sometimes just build a religion to mitigate the cost, the possible rebellion cost. Building religions every now and then is kind of fine. There's rats. We both didn't have a lot of food spared. Wawr, yeah, needs yellow cards. Efficient upgrades is one for the future, for the coal. Takes cannon and takes Bach. He doesn't have the Shakespeare setup. I actually... Do we have to look at that again? I kind of ignored both of them. Yeah, this thing... Yeah, okay, we are close enough. Not really. But this is so unreliable that I will just click. Yeah, I did kind of ignore both Shakespeare and Bach. Maybe a bit interesting. Maybe a bit interesting. Yeah. Looking at it from now, interesting. I don't know. I mean, I have already 6 rock income. I can still upgrade it a bit. Yeah, I mean, this is a good wonder, but skipping Shakespeare here? Both operas still in the deck. He gives a happy face. This looks like a mistake to me. I do get compensation, the economic progress. Yeah, red's revealed, and Bavcinic goes for Bach here. Now he has the culture leader, culture income leader. I don't. Barbarians are revealed. He has more culture, but isn't weaker than me. Would have been after this. I am even stronger like this. And this is a bit annoying for him. He's relying on this horse strength. And I deny him, yeah, the culture income from Genghis Khan. And also, if he swaps to Bach, he has some military pressure. So maybe that was the idea. Also, like, Nobel is a pretty good option for me, because science is still an issue. I can also just build operas without Shakespeare. Yeah. I mean, I have thought about these turns more than I analyze them now, so there are some arguments for skipping it. The Shakespeare. Yeah, he does go for Bach. 11 to 5 strength here, but he also gets the Conmon drop here, which is solving a lot of his issues. Good harvest revealed. And here I decide to go for an opera and take both breakthroughs. Yeah, science is still an issue, and that is a lot of value here. Not really willing to go for the scientific method. This 9+4 science is a bit awkward in two-player games. This is often just enough, even if you swap out Nobel then later. So, yeah. Maybe I also had info about iconoclasm or something. That might be. Yeah, we will see. Independence Declaration, Bavcinic loses inhabited territory. Might also be that I had info of that. Why I valued this wonder. Yeah, it is just a good wonder. I take a cavalryman for 2. Upgrade a farm, build a theater. Yeah, with this economy I can just build as many theaters as I possibly can. But the problem is that's exactly 2 right now, because I don't have a government, and I hope I didn't get access to the Republic. And now it's interesting to see if he's willing to block it. Maybe it's a bit ill-advised, since H2 is already over, but it's still a possibility. Yeah. It goes for architecture and finishes the ocean liner service. He had access to the Rev. Oh, Republic's the last card. Gets the strategy on top. So, yeah, I will have a military act. Here he has Republic already in the hand. He already did that play. I just missed that. Okay. Yeah, I did remember that I was blocked on governments, but I didn't perceive the information that he already took that. So yeah, I don't have a government, so now I'm relying on an H3 government drop. I did remember I was blocked on H2 governments, which is a bit sad. So I cannot build other operas. Now I kind of do wish I would have maybe scientific method in hand. And then there's the Dark Ages, which also hurts a lot. And yeah, looking at this, there's a religion, because I can't build anything else. yeah, not willing to pay 3 civil actions for the pro spot. It's not that much better than team spots, and I will get a solution, a happiness solution next turn, unless he blocks all 3, which would be insanity. Maybe even impossible. There's scuba turn the deck, but still, I don't think it's a good idea to block both of those. I will probably get one of those. And draw an Impact of Strength and a Tactic. And yeah, there was also already some Colossus draws, which were important. And then there's also Impact of Science and Impact of Competition. Yeah, if we look at this, it's kind of close. But he has this issue with economy. He does have more civil actions now, and there are a lot of yellow cards. So I would say at this point, this is very open who is winning the game. He still has the culture income potential here, and I don't. So, yeah, it's a very open game state, I think. So, yeah, there's a drama. Plays Wave, can build a cannon, has the defensive army. Also not very happy to see that. He goes to 17 strength. He does have military actions. He can actually be a bit annoying, and I have only 2 MA if I want to defend. I cannot draw impacts, but at least I already have 3 impacts, and I can just try to play around them. There's already computers here, and I would be, yeah, pretty surprised if I didn't go for the computers now with the Impact of Science. I start with Impact of Strength from left to right. Apparently, I do have a plan to get stronger. Yeah, this is still the powered up tactic. So with Dietrich and my economy and yeah, having this urban building limit anyway, I guess contesting strength is the only thing I can do efficiently. I mean, without MA, but still, I can seed the next 2 turns still. There was even a democracy, but not enough science for that. And even, I think, just spending the entire turn on the revolution now would hurt. And also, yeah, giving Dietrich to Wawr, I was also not very, well, yeah, not fond of the idea at all with this second defensive army for free now. So I went for Marlene. Like this, I'm stronger. And with the 1 draw, I actually do draw another impact, which is, yeah, actually super lucky, I think. Having the option to seed impacts and also align maybe my civilization. I have now science and technology. I did not go for computers. It didn't really work to go for it this turn, but maybe they would still remain in the row, and then it's still an option to go for them. And there's also the second copy. Yeah, Wawr also goes says B here and takes the democracy away from me. I'm not entirely certain if I actually have. Yeah, probably I can. Yeah, probably I'm happy with taking this democracy and just planning for a revolution. Or if I upgrade 2 computers, then I can also maybe just develop it in a reasonable time. I mean, reasonable. It's then only for 2 remaining turns or so, but it's not getting any better, even with the revolution. So 2 or 3 turns, the government, but it would still be worth it probably. Then again, it's also, he has to pay the 2 civil actions to block it, and I think it's correct, but it also means here, not the patriotism, not the urban growth. He does need rocks, so I don't know. Also, this mech egg, super expensive. I mean, yeah, he has this issue. And this efficient upgrade in hand. He actually skipped the coal, but late coal is also just not good, so understandable. Yeah, but that's expensive, science-wise and also rock-wise. I think I would rather try to, yeah, just build agricultures. As bad as it is. Would be 2, yeah? Yeah, I don't know. Here's an urban growth and a patriotism. That's 8 rocks. Here's 3 rocks income. So probably I would not take this democracy away after all. versus this value here. But yeah, as often in Through the Ages, it's not that obvious. He actually has famine already, so that does hurt. But he's yeah, accumulating a slight lead here, 12 culture lead. And I still don't have building slots, so I cannot build other buildings. So it's a bit unclear my path for victory. I was maybe a bit lucky to draw all these impacts, and I did see the impact of science now. But as we see, also maybe the impact of strength I still have to contest, which I probably will. I can just build 2 cavalrymen, a lot of strength with this powered up tactic. And yeah, indeed go for the computers here. So maybe with this impact high roll, I do have good outs. I built the second cavalryman, yeah, doesn't trigger another tactic, but the next one will. Well, it's actually not enough for impact of strength, but it's also not. It's in the next deck. There's still a bit of time. What is puffer? Safety impacts between safety events. So there's an impact, economic progress, which is it's always very sad to see this extra famine from economic progress. And yeah, this is just obviously also very huge. I get 8 rocks, he gets 1. If I can spend the rocks, that's pretty good. He even has to spend something here. Ah, yeah, Ravages happened also, yeah. The Ravages did happen in this game. Yeah, I cannot complain impact-wise in this game. And I think that's also needed in order to be competitive here without the government. Even with all this, it doesn't really matter if you can't build buildings. I could build computers now, and with the impacts that I've drawn, they also create a lot of value. So, yeah, the argument against computers and 2-player is that most of the times they don't create this value because you don't have impact of science and technology and so on. And now in this game state, it was actually quite decent to just go for that. And the game's also proceeding quite slowly. And there was actually governments again, and now, yeah, this communism will be gone anyway. I didn't take it, and then maybe it just takes the fundamentalism away also, and then I'm yeah left without a government whatsoever. Does take military theory? I do. Okay, I was a bit confused, obviously. I do have access to communism and fundamentalism, but I don't even take them. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have enough science to go for them now. There's an impact of strength that needs to be contested. With this military theory, I actually have drawn a war. I actually threaten a war with air forces. And I do see that there's a Gandhi, but like this, I also force him to take the Gandhi. If he doesn't respect my war potential now, I mean, he can gamble that I haven't drawn a war. I didn't really draw a lot of cards, but I do have it. And if he doesn't respect my war potential, he just loses the game. He just doesn't have the rocks to defend it. Maybe if a military build-up drops, he has that option, but it's already gone, so he doesn't have that option. So yeah, he has to take it. Otherwise, he could take Chaplin and still upgrade movies. And then, yeah, he does have a decent culture income, and he still has the lead. So I was not too thrilled about it. And that meant overall, I went for the military theory for this war potential. Impact of strength. And also, there's still 2 multimedia, and I thought I will also be able to just build 2 multimedia. And there's wonders to be built anyway, so I don't know. It overall felt better to go for this military theory now than to go for a government. Maybe I take this communism still as a backup, but I don't even. I prepare the war, actually. Yeah, I prepare the war. I make certain that he has to take Gandhi. And he does. Builds a religion, takes reserves air forces. Not certain how much he needs the air forces still. Yeah, okay, there can be a hybrid war. Yeah. There's an endowment for the arts, also pretty swingy card in a 2-player game. But the air force was in 1, right? So, yeah, you don't take that over the reserves. Still 10 culture lead, but yeah, if we remember, I have drawn and seeded a lot of impacts, and which I'm also winning. So now I also won Politics of Strength, possible that I seeded them, and drawn even these impacts on top. So yeah, I cannot complain at all about my H3 card draw here in this game. He can maybe, although let's be honest, also his civilization doesn't win any impacts. He does have this culture lead, but that cannot be enough to overcome a wonder and impacts that are still built. And yeah, forcing him into the Gandhi was, I think, maybe he has to be greedy and not take it, still go for movies. But I think I do go for the war then with 2 air forces, which he can't defend. He does even, yeah, he does even win impact of strength, which, okay. I mean, I kind of spoiled it. I'm sorry for that because I genuinely forgot that that still happened. But I also remember that I didn't care. I knew that the game was won, even if he takes it, wins that. It's just, yeah, this wonder and too many impacts that are good for me. It didn't matter. So I did manage to win my 2-player game against Lovchinjec, which means I need to win one more game, or needed to win one more game in order to proceed to the next stage. And yeah, this game was definitely interesting. Very asymmetric economy wise. I think his setup can work. I think I did yeah, high roll on impacts. Maybe with the politics of strength, then overall it was more or less okay. Yeah, but being able to seed every turn that early in H3 made the game a lot more easy for me. I didn't need to get desperate for stuff. I always knew. Yeah, I felt quite confident in the game mid H3, even though I knew, okay, I don't have government, not that much potential to increase my culture income, but I have these impacts that I can play around, and he just doesn't have an economy. So he has his potential is already maxed, was already maxed, and he did have this slight lead, but yeah, we see it's 23 culture gap, even although he won this impact of strength. So I did feel kind of confident throughout H3 already. Okay, so one more game. Thank you for watching. I don't have so much time to record these days, but maybe I can yeah, manage to not wait for 2 weeks for the next game. Hopefully I can do it within the next few days. Okay, guys, thanks for watching and see you soon.